Hi guys, welcome back to the throne. Let's see. Hi guys, welcome back to the throne. Me. Okay. Okay. Well. Hello. Just having a little technical difficulties. How's everybody doing? I think you can share. Let's see. Okay. Always. So crazy, like the stuff I go through. Let's tighten that up. Okay. Alrighty then. Whew. Okay. All right. Okay. I feel like my thing is a little crooked. Okay. Well, yep, it's still a little crooked. A little crooked. Okay, I think that's better. I think that's better. Well, hello, welcome. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. I don't know about y'all, but it's been a interesting week. I wish this, I got me a little something to drink. Now, I wish this was actual wine. It is not. But you know what I've learned is if you put it in a wine glass, make it a little festive, So mix me a little something, but it's not wine. So I'm just going to be, whew, okay. Because, this week, this Wednesday from Wednesday, there's been a lot going on with a lot of people. A lot of us are in transitions, and it's not been the most easy. So I think today what I want to talk about is honestly pushing through Um, honestly, pushing through. Um, we have a lot of things on social media these days. Social media is the moving magazine, it's the thing that we look at, and a lot of us want to aspire to a lot of the things we see on social media, but social media is just a face, it's just a face or an idea or a way to etch out your perfect dream or vision or whatever. It is a kind of like a vision board. Um Life is happening all the time, and social media is not going to give us a great depiction of that all the time. Sometimes there are a few people that are honest on there, but we can post, we can post aesthetically pleasing things, and we can try to be encouraging, and we can try to do all those things, but life has been lifing for a lot of us. And I just want to take time today to just recognize that life has just been lifing for a lot of us. Um, it's not that we don't have blessings, and it's not that we don't have, you know, great experiences happening, and I've talked about this before, but there's just been things sometimes that are happening like while you're being blessed, while you're going through your transitions, while you're growing and all that stuff, that is just so heavy sometimes, and it can almost rob you of your moments of blessing. It can rob you of those things. At least that seems like what it's doing, because it's so hard to sometimes focus on those things that bring you joy and the blessings that you waited for when a lot of these things are happening. And um people are going through so much. People are losing so much and gaining so much at the same time. Life is not just a linear thing. It's not just, forwards and backwards and present. It is a parallel thing too. Life can be very parallel. Where you have good and bad, where you have light and dark, and sometimes the light is not the good thing and it's the bad thing. Too much attention here, and the dark where it can be good, but because you're being able to not have all your business out there. But life be lifing. Um and it's hard to be consistent with changes that you're trying to make for your better and for your good while life is lifing. It's hard to stay encouraged, because encouragement is something you have to do consistently and every day, and it's something that you have to keep up, just like taking a bath or washing your face, brushing your teeth, eating, drinking water. There's something that you need to do daily, is um work on your encouragement, work on your motivation, work on those things. And sometimes we just don't have it in us. Sometimes sometimes we're tired from just trying to manage our blessing, and now we have to go over here and manage pain. And it's pain, and it's different, because when you come from a place where you're always used to dealing with pain, and you kind of know what your strategies are and everything, and life looked more parallel at that time, where you were dealing with pain and now you're dealing with blessing. And it feels unfair to have to deal with pain in the middle of blessing. It feels unfair to have to deal with doors being open and doors being shut at the same time. It feels unfair, to experience that, and that be reality. It feels unfair to feel, to work so hard to get somewhere, work so hard to be somewhere, just to be there by yourself. Like, this is not the idea that you had in your head. This is not the idea that that you pictured in your mind. Like, you're here, but it don't feel like you thought it would. And you're like, is this a good moment? It's still good. It's because you couldn't take so many people with you. It's like, and even some people in that space you've had to let go of, because they couldn't be a part of the full journey, even though they were part of the journey. And so life be lifing. And I'm just here to tell you, I see you. I see you. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to experience so much new stuff and still sometimes deal with old things, but you don't have your old self to help you deal with it. It's like I can't um sit here and handle this in the same way that I did before, cuz I just don't have it in me. And you're like this close to like just telling people like it is, just telling them off, you know? Um and sometimes you do. Let's face it. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. Uh-huh. Sometimes we do. Um have to get we get to that space where we got to tell people off because they like don't understand. Child. I'm sorry, I'm all in I'm all in it. Let me move this over here. It's just I be gesturing with my hands. I be thinking I'm gonna hit something. Let me just move this over here. I like my coaster. See that? That's irrelevant. Anyway. So I want to talk about I wasn't going to talk about this um because when I look back at this, this is not the way I want to remember right now. Um but I'm going to talk about this for the reason why I'm talking about all these things. So this past week, um actually, as a matter of fact, right before the last podcast, I lost a close friend of mine. Um, they were kind of like a father and a friend, like a father friend. Um, some people call him an uncle, like, oh, you unc, you know, but this was like a father friend, like my friend for real. But there's so much that I learned from him. He was a photographer and videographer, firefighter. He has an extensive background of doing so many things. He's done so much in his life. He really lived. And I was learning so much from him throughout my career. And he's a big part of the beginning of my career. I have stuff with many people at the beginning of my career, but he's a big part of that. And while I'm growing and doing more and get growing into myself and all the things that he would try to push me to do and all the things that he encouraged me to be. And what's crazy is the wings that I created, I got the wire wings before I put the flowers and stuff on them. The wings that I use for my background, I got those from him in a long time ago, and I made them and everything, putting the wings and stuff, putting them together. But the frame, he gave it to me. He's just very generous. He always had something that he wanted to give you, do for you, encourage you about, tell you who you were. He spoke life into me a lot. When I've lost other people, which is the irony in this, when I've lost other people, I would just kind of shrink away. Didn't really want to talk about it. And he would know. And he would send me a message and he would just send something. Hey, you got to go outside sometime. Hey, you got to go. Did you go outside today? Hey, how you doing? You got to, love you. I love you. And knowing sometimes I'm probably not going to respond because I would always respond to I love you though. Okay. But I didn't really have a lot to say, especially since I'm introverted. Um, it, I need time by myself to gain energy and strength. I need time by myself to do that. And when I'm going through, I withdraw, even more. And anytime I was going through something, he just knew. He just knew. And so the reason why I'm talking about being blessed and going through pain is because I am currently in that situation. I'm currently dealing with parallels. I know he'll be so happy for me. I know he was happy for me with the things that I already got to share with him. I'm upset that I don't get to share other things, but a scripture came to my mind in the middle of my heavy crying, and it seemed so cruel at first because I was like, God, why would you tell me that? And the scripture was, "Let the dead bury the dead." And I was like, why would that come to my mind? Like, that just seems something like the dead bury the dead. Like, I was getting mad. It's like, why would you tell me that? So I went to go look it up because it wasn't the full thing. I only had a piece of it. So I'm like, why would you tell me that? I know I'm grieving, and sometimes that's the way God says things because of how we interpret things. We may think it's rude or something, and God is just telling us how to deal with where we are. So I looked it up. Jesus says this to one of his disciples when his father dies. Jesus said it to him. He said, he said, follow me. He was like, well, I want to go bury my father first. And in the Hebrew or the Judaism culture, hey, Carlos, in the Judaism culture, um, Hebrew culture, Jewish tradition, they, when the parent passed or something like that, especially I believe if you were like the oldest, they would have to go and bury them. And sometimes they had different rituals that they recognized. One of them was like a year-long ritual where they buried them and they mourned them for a year. And then at the end of that year, they reburied the bone. It was a whole thing. So either way it went, it was going to take time to, because of how they honored their dead. It was going to take time to do it one way, the short way or the long way. It was going to take some time. And the reason why Jesus told him this was because it wasn't about religion. It wasn't about rules. It was about purpose. It was about recognizing your purpose anyway. Recognizing that when things happen that are painful, that you still have to finish and walk out your purpose first. It doesn't mean that you don't grieve. It doesn't mean that you don't need to take time to do so. It means that whatever assignment or whatever thing God gave you can't come before whatever you feel, as painful as that may be sometimes. It can't come before it. God is a merciful God and he is a loving God and he will help you through it. And sometimes the way we think we need to grieve is not the way we need to grieve. The way we need to go through something is probably not the way we need to go through something. Tradition may not be the way you need to do it. Sometimes God wants you to keep moving because you sitting still will be worse for you. I've grieved many people in my life. Haven't been here long enough to feel like I should have grieved that many people. But this is different because I realized that I was this person that I have known for the majority of my beginning of my career. This person is also an example for me in this industry and an example for me and it was attached to me pushing for my purpose. This wasn't just like my friend in life, but this is somebody I learned from, the mentor, model, or an example, and it was a compilement of many things. And it feels like everything that that was can never be again. But everything that it was has been rebirthed into what I'm doing now. I can't go backwards. I can't go back to that space. I can't call that person up in brainstorm. I can't call that person up and just talk. I can't do this. And it feels like everything that was has been swept away. And all I have left are memories. And it's almost like sometimes the things all that you've gone through feels like it's just been swept away. It's just been taken away. And you're just left with pieces of it as if you didn't go through it, as if it never happened. And you know it happened. And it feels unfair. And grief can feel like that. And grief is not just with people. Grief is with circumstances. Grief is with relationships being severed. Grief is with having to move your home, having to change schools, having to go to a new job, leave your old job. Grief happens in so many different ways. Grief happens in friendships. Grief happens in all kinds of relationships, mother, father, spouse, significant other, partner, whatever. They happen. It happens. And yet we're supposed to push through. Yet we're supposed to be positive. Yet we're supposed to, stay encouraged and stay consistent. And as much as people we have all these motivational speaking and all this stuff, this mess hurts. This stuff is tiring. And I just want to be real about it. I want to be real about it. This is not an easy place. It's not easy getting up, doing what you got to do. It's amazing sometimes that you even did it, came through, got finished. Sometimes you be like, God, it had to be you, because I don't even know how I finished, because right now I have no desire to do not a thing, not a thing, not at all. I have no desire at all to do anything. And this place can physically hurt. This place can physically, hey, Tara, hey, okay, girl, hey, queen, back to you. But this place can physically hurt. Your mind can be tired, your body can be drained, your body can be achy. People are like, well, that's depression. Sometimes it's oppression. Sometimes it's just sadness, in general. But this place can just physically hurt. It's not easy to be consistent when you're trying to be consistent with your blessings, but you're fighting your pain. And then what if your pain is so unique, there's no one you can really talk to about it? It's so woven, it's woven so differently throughout your life. There's no language for what you're feeling. And you're tired and you're just trying to keep moving, and people may notice personality differences in you or character differences in you, and they're like, you don't act the same, or you this and the other. It's like, I'm happy, but I'm also not happy. I'm tired, but I'm present. And it is a weird space to be in, because this is not like pain before. This is not like tiredness before. This is not like, all the other doors you've gone through. This is different, because this time, it's your purpose. Everything else was practice. And now it's your purpose. Now you're in here riding in your purpose. And you're feeling it every day. You're feeling the blessing and you're feeling the other stuff. And I just want you to know it's okay. It's okay to just take a breather, to just breathe your way through. What I've learned during this space, this very real place where you are done, but not finished, in a whole nother way. Done with old things, done with just going through stuff and trying to also remain present in your blessings and in your opportunities and your success. What I've learned is just that I'm showing up today the best I can do today. I can only show up today. I cannot worry about tomorrow. I can't think about what didn't happen right yesterday. I don't have the energy for it. And I honestly don't care to. Mhm. Because also when you read more in that area, I would, I'm going to probably put it in the comments later. I'm trying to see which um, scripture that was. I'm trying to remember what scripture that was. But it also talks about that not to worry about tomorrow and not to worry about the day before, and just, because today has enough trouble. And so, yeah, I don't know. Hold on. That's Luke 9. Let the dead bury the dead. Had to look it up. I had to look it up real quick. Luke 9:60. Let the dead bury the dead. So, when when God is talking about, when Jesus is talking about, not worrying about tomorrow and all that stuff, that today has enough trouble, that's for us people right now. That's for us right now. Those who are going through transitions and those who have transitioned into something else, but it's still very fresh and very new. And you're experiencing different type of struggles and different types of trials. These trials don't even look the same. They don't feel the same. They don't, you can't respond to them in the same way. Some things you don't want to respond in the same way. You got, and what's really messed up is when you have old things showing up in new ways, and you left that over there somewhere. Like, I didn't even bring that with me, but I see familiar things trying to rewrap themselves in new packages. And what I don't have time for is that, especially now. And it's like it's trying to pull your focus away from your blessing. And so when you're dealing with the pain, you're dealing with the old things, and you're dealing with the grieving, and you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with, remember that it is not greater than the God in you. It is not greater than your purpose. It is not greater than the fact that you already won. It is not greater than your ability to continue forward. It is not greater than the challenges that you feel. This is so important that we give every day to God. We give every day to God. We give every day to God. We just keep giving it over. And if you haven't tried it, I implore you to try it. Okay? And this is, sometimes it's a verbal experience. You have to say, Lord, I just give this day over, and take a deep breath and breathe. Sometimes you got to write down some things on a piece of paper and light that stuff on fire. And I light it up on fire in a safe space, like a outside in the fire pit or something, and burn it. But you can make it. You're not going to feel the greatest right now all the time, even though you feel blessed. Um, it is growth though. You have grown to this space to where you can operate in your blessings and also deal with your trials. You have grown to this space. You are strong. You may not feel strong, but it's because you are strong. You are able to be here. You may not feel like you got it together, but believe me, you have it more together than you think. And this goes for me too. Sometimes we feel like the little things they don't matter, but God said the size of a mustard seed. If you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. You can tell that mountain to move out the way, child. Do you know how fast mustard seeds grow? Quickly, pretty quickly. Any gardener probably can tell you that. They're Yeah, you can grow those pretty quickly. Yeah, very, very much so. And I say that because your faith may start off small, like a mustard seed. But if you think of the power of a mustard seed and how fast and rapidly it can grow, is what your faith is capable of. You're doing better than you think. Your blessings don't take away from your right to feel upset about things. You feeling upset shouldn't take away from your right to enjoy things either. Like sometimes people don't want you to enjoy your blessing because shouldn't you be sad? You should look upset. You should, yeah, I'm upset, but I'm also blessed. Let's talk about the other side of it. I'm upset, but I'm also blessed. And I took a long time to get here, and I just really don't want to dwell on the sad things. No, I'm not ignoring it. No, I'm dealing with it, but I'm not going to deal with it in the way you want me to. I'm not going to deal with it in the way that is appeasing to everybody else. I may not want to deal with it in front of you. I have the right to deal with the way I need to deal with it because one thing I am, honey, is very blessed, and I want to enjoy that. I am sad, but I am blessed. I am broken, but I am blessed. I am very blessed, and I just want to enjoy that because this is the thing. Life is always going to be lifing. And so while my blessings are here, I rather focus on that. I rather, honor my friend by moving forward. I rather honor the people in my life that I can't bring with me, that I had to let go of by living right now. I rather honor them by being my best self. I rather do it that way. I rather honor myself. I rather honor the person that it took for me to get here by being the person that I got to be for where I'm going. I rather honor. Thank you to my past self. Thank you to everyone that fed into me. Thank you for all of that stuff. But I need to go forward now. I need to go forward now. And I can't stop just because I'm sad. I can't stop just because I'm upset. And no, I'm not going to do it as fast maybe as I want to because I am dealing with being upset, which is okay. But at the same time, I can't stop. I'm not going to stop. I'm just may move a little slower. But I'm going to be present. As long as I can work on my being present for myself, showing up for myself, then I am being successful right now. I am feeding my future with my right now. Ooh, this pressing on my head. But yeah, don't let people tell you how you're supposed to feel and how you're supposed to be this thing because it's brand new. I just feel like a lot of us are in a new place, but we're dealing with real life still. And sometimes we think we're supposed to be a certain way about it, or sometimes we think we're supposed to be like faster. One of my things is being faster about things, like for real. And we can be annoyed with ourselves, but really give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. This is the place to where you have to make sure you give yourself as many breaks as you can, because that's a boundary you have to keep. Because child, they will people will try to. People have already gaslit you enough. Now you're in a space where you don't let invasive thoughts gaslight you. Don't do that, child. Please don't let invasive thoughts gaslight you. You've come too far. You just have come too far. And you have the right to take your time to process whatever you need to process as you walk in your blessing, as you walk in your purpose. It's okay. It's not going to be easy. It's not always going to be a wonderful Instagram post. It ain't always going to be wonderful motivational speaker. It's going to be really getting up, taking that deep sigh. Mm. Y'all know that sound. You see, I just, that. It's going to be that sometimes. And that will pass. And you're going to walk through it. And it's not going to feel good all the time. Waking up in your blessing, but feeling exhausted. And that's fine. Just live one day at a time. This is the space and place where you live one day at a time. That's all. Everything else will take care of itself. Take care of you. So when you got to show up and be present in your blessing, you can. When you got to show up and be present in any trial or tribulation, you can. Take care of you first. Spend some time with God, you and God first, so that you can be present in the spaces you need. So your yes can look like your yes will be yeses and your no's will be your no's, and your no's and your yeses will look the same. You keep the same energy because you spent time with yourself. And that doesn't matter if you're introvert or extrovert. Everybody, ambivert or ambivert, everybody needs your own me time. Especially in a place where when you're living your purpose, because it just feels different. It feels like you have stepped into a kingdom of your own, and now you're the queen or the king of that kingdom, and you're dealing with all the realness of what that means. It's not just a title anymore. It's not just an idea. It's not just a dream. Like, you're living the reality of that, and it comes with certain demands, and it comes with expectations, and it comes with people putting their idea on you. The idea and the dream that they think is what you do, they'll put that on you. They want you to show up in the form and the fashion of what they think you're supposed to show up as. And it's just like, no, honey, that's not how it goes. See, this is my life. This is my purpose. This is not no little dream that, or an idea or little idea of somebody else's. This is my actual real everyday life. And there's certain demands in it that you will never see. There are certain things in it that you will never know. And this is not just about your purpose in career wise. This is your purpose inside your family. This is your purpose inside your relationships with people. Like, there's purpose in everything that we do. And showing up for that looks different for everybody. And we cannot put certain demands on people thinking, and what I mean by that is that some people will compare their spouse to somebody else. Some people will compare their children to their other children. Excuse me. Some people will compare their parents to other parents. Like, excuse me, especially when you're trying to do your best, no matter what hat you wear, you're trying to do your best and people are comparing you. Like, excuse me. Excuse me. You have no idea what my position demands of me. I may make it look easy, but baby, this ain't easy. You don't know what my position demands of me. And it would do good for you. It would bring favor on you if you try to at least respect the fact that you don't know. If you at least try to respect the fact that you don't get it. Respect the fact that you're not always going to understand me. Respect the fact that I'm the only one that can stand in the shoes that I have. You cannot stand in my shoes, and I'm not trying to stand in yours. I don't want your shoes, okay? I don't want your shoes, and I don't want your path. But I respect it because I know only you can walk your life out. Only you can walk your purpose out. Only you can walk your path out. I cannot do that for you. I will support you, but at the same time, it needs to be respected. And this is the thing. When we have relationships, we have to understand that with our kids, with our spouses, with our parents, with whatever, friends, we have to understand that we're here to support them in their journey. We are the cheerleader in their life, and they're the main character in their story. And they're the only one that knows all the parts of their story up to this point. But outside of God, they're the only ones that know up to this point. So we can't really put our idea of what we think they should do on them. And if you got time to put your ideas on other people, baby, you're not doing enough. To me, you're not working hard enough. If you have time to put your opinion on somebody else's life. If you're watching somebody that closely, let's just scoot over a little bit and talk to the people who are watching folks too close. If you're watching somebody so close that you feel like you can put your idea and your opinion on what they do, baby, you ain't got enough to do. You're not busy enough with your own business, because there's plenty of business out there. You can go get you some. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were watching somebody else that closely to where you have an opinion about every little thing that they do, well, I wouldn't have did it like that. Okay, why are you telling me that, and why is it relevant to what I'm doing? Because you're not in my shoes. Okay, you're not in my shoes. Okay, so you're not in other people's shoes either. And if you're looking at people and judging them and thinking that they need to handle their blessings or their life or whatever, and you need to dial it back some and ask yourself why. Why am I watching them so much? And why do I have so much an opinion of them? It's one thing to admire people. It's another to obsess over what they're doing and actually let it you take time out of your own life in your own day and spend your time, your currency time on talking about their life. Go live yours. Maybe if you have a problem with the way someone's doing it, maybe you should work in yourself to get into the position to where you can add to the world in a way that you see better. Maybe let that encourage you to go and add something in that space. But if you cannot, look somewhere else. At your own business. We got too many people got so much to say about everybody else's business, but don't pay attention to their own. There's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of things going on in this world. And the best thing we can do is mind our business. Take care of our business. Not just mind your business, like only look at your business, but tend to it. Take care of yourself. We don't have time to even look at the past or be worried about our future, let alone somebody else's life. We don't have energy for that. This is a space where we have to just focus on our purpose. Enjoy that process. Respect people as they walk out their own purpose. Encourage them for who they are. And live. Don't let the things that died kill you. Don't let the trust that was broken kill what you have. You're here now. You've made it too far to let the lies and the broken stuff try to come up now and kill anything about you that is wonderful and beautiful. You've done the work. You've done the job that you had to do to be here. So don't let that be such a distraction. It takes you away from the beauty of the place that you are in. I know that my friend passing, y'all, and when I say I did not want to talk about this today because of how it makes me feel, it is truly not an easy thing for me right now. But I know what it also represents for me. It represents me also having the opportunity to say, I've crossed the threshold. This person helped me become who I needed to be for who I am right now. I have a physical mark in my life that says this time is over and now this is beginning. And like literally, guys, everything, the time he passed and the time I'm having all these memories come up, like literally on my phone or on Facebook and all this stuff. Those memories correlate to what I'm doing right now. It is so uncanny, like how everything has been happening. I told my mother something. We had went through something, me and my family, and God just told me to deal with it and trust Him, and He showed us what to do, and we were able to walk through it. Hey, Valerie, girl, hey. So we were able to walk through it, and later on, he told me to let her know what happened, and she was like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" And I was like, "I didn't need you to tell me, because everything that you showed me is what I used to help us get through that situation." And I was like, "See, I don't always need you here physically the way you were when I was a kid, but your words exceeded your presence. They were with me, even though you couldn't be, even though you physically weren't with me. What you taught me was with me. And what you taught me, I also were able to show my children, and they were able to handle what I learned in a different manner, even in a more positive manner. So now they can even have even more confidence than I did when I had to learn these things. But I still learned them through you. So I didn't need you in the moment, like physically, to help me physically with anything, because you had given me the understanding that I need to draw from. And I only needed that in that moment, because some things are put on the shelf and then we take them off and then we use it, right? This is the same with my friend. Now that he's gone, I would love for him to be here physically with me. But there's so much of him in everything that I do right now. It is crazy. His motivation is with me. His words and encouragement is with me. What he told me about who I am is with me. Me being right here, right now. I know if he saw me right now, he'd be like, "Oh, that's you. That's you." He would be so proud and excited for me. So as much as I want him with me, I'm in a place to where I got to put the things that he gave me into motion. And let's face it, if he were here, would I fly? He's been my backbone in so many ways. And though I was kind of starting to run a little bit, God let me know. He said, "You still haven't flown. You still haven't used your wings. You still have been holding back. And now you have nothing. You can't hold back anymore." I allow this to happen during this time in your life, because everybody has to go. But I need you to understand that you can't hold on to anything in the past anymore. Not even the good things, because the good things, they had their time with you. And now you got to take what you learned from those spaces and put it into motion. And you're not going to always want to wake up and go do it. You're not going to feel like getting out of bed. You're going to have your moments where it's really difficult. You're going to have your moments where people are going to not understand that just because you're blessed, you're still going through this. You're going to have a lot of stuff going on, but I'm going to need you to walk it out day by day. I don't need you to look at the past. I don't need you to worry about your future. I just need you to just continue to show up to your present moment. That's what I need you to do. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I got a roll of tissue. That's how I do it, okay? I got a roll of tissue. Excuse me. Gotta always have a trash pail, okay, guys? Always have a trash pail. So, as much as sometimes we want things to stay the same, or as much as we want to take people with us, or to have people with us in the blessing, when you think about who you are and the way you do things, you see them. You see their words, you see their encouragement. And sometimes their words are your greatest company when everybody else doesn't get it. You know. And I've been in a space where people don't get certain things, and I hear his words come back to me. What's that got to do with you? Because that way people feel about me, especially when I don't know you. Hello? So y'all can see my face. Especially if I don't know you. What is your issue with the way I'm living have to do with me? What does it have to do with me? When God said that his word will not return back to him void, I think about our parents, I think about our friends, I think about the people that have been in our lives that their voices are louder now than ever that have passed. It's amazing how loud they become when they pass, right? How you can't erase even certain things out of your mind. It just sticks more when they pass. Their words still go with us. Their prayers are still covering us. Their hope for us is still alive. Because God says nothing can separate you from the love of God. And those people loved us with the love of God. Those words that they gave us are riding on that wave. They're still with us. Sometimes we cannot become what we need until something else dies. I hate to say it. Sometimes we can't be what we need until something else leaves us. Sometimes we can't fly until we have no other reason. Sometimes we have to fall so we can fly. Sometimes we have to be pushed off the cliff so our wings will open up. And I know that I'm in a space in my life that there is nothing for me to look back at. I can't. I can't look back at it. I can't go back to it. Everything that I had, everything that I relied on, it's not there anymore. I have to take what I remember and what I learned from those places and put it into motion. That's the only way I get to keep those things with me. So my encouragement for you is that in this space, in your purpose, keep putting the good things that you remember, the good messages, the good word that was told to you into motion. And know that the reality of it is not always going to be comfortable. It's not going to be always easy. But the truth is that you deserve to be happy. And you deserve to celebrate your wins, even in the midst of sorrow. Because your joy for your wins does not take away from your moment of grieving, from your moment of pain. It doesn't take away from that. In your moment of pain, don't you dare let it cloud you from the space that you're in. That you still have victory, that you still have won, that you're still living on purpose, and you should be so proud of yourself. You can't control everything. You can't fix everything. It is not your job to show up for everybody. It is your job to first show up for God and yourself so that you can show up in the spaces at the times that you should. This is what living on purpose and in purpose looks like. It's not easy. It's not cotton candy and rainbows all the time. It is an everyday intentional thing. And you have to be fair to yourself because today, what you gave today may not be what you can give tomorrow. But when you look back over your time, showing up in the present, pretend the present is like a penny. And every time you go through another day, showing the best that you can, that day is still one whole penny, no matter how you show up in it. But if you're being consistent and doing your best in that day, when you look back over time, you'll see that it's added up. And pennies turn into dollars, dollars turn into hundreds, hundreds turn into thousands, thousands turn into millions. And time is a currency that we can't get back. We talk about we can get money back, but we still have to use our time to get it back. So just do your best with being present, because the only real time that exists is not what happened. It's not what's going to happen. Our life is made up of of moments of right nows. It's made up of now moments. The past is just now that we've already lived. The future is now that we haven't lived yet. But the present is the only real time that you experience all the time. It is consistently there. So just continue to just be in it. Show up in it the best you can. Roll out of bed if you can't leap out of bed. Okay? Do your best, but you don't have time to try to be perfect. Perfection is not real. Even your way of doing things is not perfect. Show up. Just show up. Because take your penny every day. Show up. Don't think about, oh, it's taking so long or this. You can only live one day at a time. Might as well just do that. I'm not saying you can't plan for things or prepare for things, but you can't get so caught up in trying to plan for things that you miss out on now. Because let me tell you something. Yeah, some of us we believers and we believe in going to heaven and all that stuff and all that. But even in that truth, the time that you have with your family right now, and that's not how it's going to be in heaven. And what I mean by that is you may have a lot of great things in heaven, but this time right now in real time, this will never be this again. I don't care if you believe in reincarnation. This moment is the only moment that exists in eternity in time that looks just like this, that will be this. Your kids, the age that they are right now, they will never be those ages again. The significant other that you're with, you will not have this. You may have another Wednesday with them, but this Wednesday will not. You won't have this Wednesday with this moment, with this dinner, with this conversation. Again, you may talk about similar things, but this time will not be here. You can only live one moment at a time. When the children of Israel were in the desert, God gave them manna every day and told them they couldn't hold on to it. And if they did, it turned into worms and all that kind of stuff. It never could hold on to it, except for on the Sabbath. That was the only day because they weren't supposed to work on Saturday or on the Sabbath, whatever day they consider that. And that was about living right now in the moment with God, living and experiencing people right now. It's not going to be easy. Moments are going to happen, but all you need to do is just show up. Your life is going to be made of light and shadows. It's going to be made of, black and white and full of color. It's going to be all of it, but it makes it more beautiful. The story is so much better when it has layers. So just live. Because the one thing I've learned from my friend that passed, he just lived. He had people try to hate, they try to do this. He just lived. And he lived well. And he was a believer. And I know he went to heaven empty. Meaning he did everything he was supposed to do. He lived well. And he's the best example for me even right now. Because I know that for me to be in this space, I have to show up and be present. Not worry about what everybody else is thinking. Not worry about let my invasive thoughts run me, but live in the truth that that I am in my purpose. And that as long as I continue to show up, no matter how hard it feels, and no matter, and not comparing my yesterday to my tomorrow to my yesterday, as long as I can just keep trying, I'm living. And that's all that's required of me is to just to keep living on purpose, in my purpose, intentionally. And whatever happens, happens. But I deserve to be happy and I deserve to be here even in my sorrow. One doesn't negate the other. They both have room. And you have to give both of those things room to just be. Celebrate when you celebrate, cry when you cry, dance when you dance, sit when you sit. But it all has room. But what doesn't have room is worry. It robs you. Just live. Just show up. Just be you. Because the best day of your life was the day you said yes to God. Everything else is just following through now. So continue to follow through. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't have any regrets about yesterday. And give yourself some credit for today. So that will be your encouragement for tomorrow. So that's all I got. Just know you're not by yourself in this, and we're all getting through this together. If this was helpful to you in any way, please, put a comment in the comment section. If this is something that you think someone can benefit from listening, even if it's not this episode and it's another episode, please share. I have a whole playlist of View from the Throne visual, and I have my playlist for View from the Throne audio, and I'm on Spotify. So this will be uploaded to Spotify probably this Friday, this one. But if you have anybody that you want to share this podcast with, please do. We're just making it happen. This, like I said, is God's throne. This is God's podcast. I'm here just, doing my best. And we're going to see where this takes us, and hopefully I just want to tell you guys, hopefully my goal is to also, like bring other women on and people on to have discussions and hear their perspective, their view from their perspective, and um just from different topics and things like that. So I just want y'all to know, like, I want to always be the only one you see on here, but for right now it is me. But there will be guests starting to come on here sooner or later, and I look forward to that time. We're gonna have a great time when we get to have guests. And but until then, we'll just keep it here and keep it, us, and communicate, the way we've been communicating, I guess. But yeah, that's what I plan on doing. But other than that, I just want to say thank you for showing up. You didn't have to show up today. You could have listened to anybody. You could have taken your time to do anything. It is Wednesday night. It's the middle of the week. A lot of people are just already done with the week. They're done. They are, you're hustling, trying to get your families together for, dinner and all that stuff. And I know my podcast comes on at an interesting time. you know, I mean, Wednesday night, people at church and all kinds of things. But so I really appreciate the time that y'all have carved out for me. Any time that you've been on here, if you were here for the whole time or part of the time, just thank you, because you didn't have to be. And I just want you to remember that, you matter, and that no matter if your crown is tilted, cracked, or it's falling off, pick it up, because it still shines. A broken crown still shines. And over here, you are treated like the royalty that you are, and you are appreciated. And so, if there's nothing else, I guess there's nothing else. I'll see you next time at the throne, guys. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. Whoops.